morning, I'm Brad Knight with Knight Custom Homes. This is our latest project. Some of the features you'll see on the front of this house are the mahogany front door with side lights, the beaded board ceiling, the brick front obviously. On the side over here you'll see some pipes that are sticking down into the ground. Those pipes are to be hooked up to the gutter system that we're going to be putting up. Now we'll go on inside the house. In all of our houses we try to include an antique mantle. This happens to be one of them. They're all unique. They're all about 100 to 120 years old, and we find that it gives a lot of character to the family rooms. This living room features a coffered ceiling with recessed lights. People really like the way the effect is on that. The kitchen over here, we've got the built-up crown molding, the granite countertops, and as you can see, it's quite a stunning kitchen. This is the solarium. Some of the nice features we did in here was a full tray ceiling all the way across. We did the crown molding with the lighting behind it. Once again, the double-sided fireplace, and of course our dusty floors that we're just getting ready to urethane. Some of the nice features of this pantry are the granite countertops, the extra storage cabinets all the way around. These are the much taller cabinets. These are the 36-inch cabinets in height. We also have provisions for a fridge with ice maker. And once again, great finishes on the maple and granite. This is a downstairs full bathroom. We have the one-piece sink unit with the undermount bowl, the granite countertops. These tiles are called subway tiles. Adds a nice effect with the border coming across the side here. And once again, tile on the floor. This is the downstairs office. We designed this with resale in mind. Inside these walls, we have all the plumbing and all the electrical to turn this into an in-law apartment. All we do is add a wall across here, put in the cabinets, put in the sinks, dishwasher, then this becomes kitchen, eating area, living room area, and then room for 2 bedrooms downstairs. So this really makes it an ideal space. He plans to use this obviously as an office. The reason there's dust all over the floors is they're actually moving in this week. The house is all completed. We've already done 3 coats of polyurethane, and we're going to be doing 2 more coats. One of the nice features of my houses that I build is I do real hardwood floors. We do not use pre-finished hardwood floors. The problem with the hardwood floors that are pre-finished are that they have micro grooves between the boards. As you can see, there's a very smooth surface here, and what happens, you can dump a gallon of water on there or a bottle of wine, and it'll just sit on the surface. If you have the pre-finished floors, it all runs down between the cracks. So once again, this is kind of old school hardwood floors, but the quality, you can't beat it. They'll last forever, and you don't, 5 years from now, have those new pre-finished floors that look terrible. This basement, we chose to do a 10-foot pour, which obviously gives you tremendous headspace. Even though we use LVLs for clear spanning to give you nice wide open spaces when they finish the basement, with these 10-foot pour, a full 8 feet is at the end of my fingers. You still have ample room up above. So this will end up being a 9-foot ceiling down here. All of our foundations are treated with a waterproof rubber membrane, which gives them great water, water just doesn't penetrate it. The majority of builders out there use what's called a damp-proof system, which is basically just tar. In addition to that, we have a very much upgraded system on the outside, inside dealing with water and radon, etc. On the outside of the foundation, we have pipes that run around the entire perimeter of the foundation and then go to daylight. Those are encased in stone, and then they have fabric over them to keep any contaminants from going inside there. Then we have what's called through footing drains that go through the footing, and they attach to interior drains that go all the way around the inside of the foundation. Now, most builders that are out there will go ahead and put just common fill underneath the slab. What we do is we put washed stone that's a foot deep all the way across the inside of the footings. Then we pour our floor. Now our floors are fiberglass reinforced, and in fact in the garages we have fiberglass reinforced and wire mesh reinforced. So they're just a fantastic setup. The nice thing about having all these pipes in here is that we have a pipe that comes up on the other side of the foundation that we attach to a 4-inch PVC pipe that goes up through the attic and through the roof. What that does is that anytime there's a radon issue or a gas issue, all that stone will carry that gas out to the perimeter pipes. Then it goes to that single pipe, which, because of the vacuum effect which happens when you run that pipe through the attic, it'll pull any of those gases out of there. So the chances of having a radon issue are greatly reduced. So this is our plumbing system. We choose to use the Wirsbo PEX plumbing product. It is much more expensive than regular copper, but it gets you a lot of advantages. One of the advantages is it has much less resistance, so the water flows a lot better through the pipe. The next thing is that if it freezes for any reason, it can blow up the size of an orange, and then it returns to its original shape, and it's actually stronger than it was when it first did it. As you can see, we take great pride in having very neat and clean installations. Everything's lined up correctly, everything's labeled, everything has shutoffs. Something as simple as putting shutoffs before and after your circulator pumps. What that does for you is that if and when down the road one of those lets go, all you do is turn those two off, pull out that circulator pump, put the new circulator pump in, and it's done. Ordinarily, what they have to do is drain the entire system down, put the new one in, and obviously a lot more mess and everything else. This house happens to have radiant heat in all the bathrooms, which makes it really comfortable for the living on your, walking around bare feet. This is the radiant system up here. This is the heat exchanger plate that tempers all that. We've got a recirculating zone in this system that continuously circulates the water throughout the whole house on the primary loop, so that when you turn on the hot water, it's there in, I think we've timed it's 4 seconds. If you don't have that with a house of this size, because this house is close to 4,800 square feet, you will end up with a delay of about 1.5 minutes typically in any house of that size when it has to run all the way up through the pipes. Over here we have our vacuum system. This is a Galaxy vacuum system, which is basically the size you could put in a small hotel. It does not have any bag filters or anything else you have to buy. It's got a mesh filter in there that takes care of picking up all the contaminants. When you have to clean it, all you do is pop the 2 tabs, drop it down, and dump it out. You don't have to buy other things to go with it. All the air that gets sucked in through the vacuum, some of the systems recirculate the air back into the house. This one actually vents it right outside. So any allergens or dust or anything like that that isn't picked up by the vacuum would just get vented outside. This is our expansion tank. We use an expansion tank that's 3 times the size typically used by most builders. We have drilled wells on all of our sites, private septic systems, and for instance on this house, it's a 4-bedroom house. We designed it with a 5-bedroom septic system. The beauty of that is that if they convert the office to living space, or this is an unfinished 3rd floor also on this house, or if they add another bedroom up there, they'd ordinarily have to pull the tank, pull the field out, replace the field and tank, and it's very expensive. You're talking probably $20,000 or $30,000 to do that. But since this is all done, it's no issue. This is the furnace. We choose to use gas furnaces in all of our houses. The advantage of having gas in the house is that we're able to use, obviously, gas furnace, gas hot water heater, gas for the range, for the dryers, and your outside stuff, the grill or whatever. So this 92% efficiency furnace vents all of its exhaust through this PVC pipe. When you stand outside and you put your hand over that pipe when it's running, it just feels like warm air, warm breath going against your hand. So obviously it's pulling all the energy it possibly can out of that. In all of our furnaces, we put the condensate lines in, and we also put the air conditioning coil in, so that adding the air conditioning only has to be putting a couple of cement pads outside and whatever you need for compressors. We also put a Aprilaire humidifying system in here. It monitors everything, all the return air, tells exactly what's happening. Obviously with all the hardwood in the house, you want to make sure that you keep the humidity level at the right point. This house also has a 400 amp service, which is, you get the 2 200 amp panels here. So can't see it from there probably, but we've got lots of open circuits, open spots on both sides for future expansion. On our cable, we use the RG6 Quad Shield and the CAD 5E wire. This is still very much in rough shape right now. We haven't tied everything in yet, but gives you an idea. Most of the builders out there will run what's called the military loop, which is running from box to box to box. We run home runs from every single box down here. Each of these wires has 4 pairs in it, so you can put effectively 4 pairs in each one, 4 phone lines in each one of them. The RG6 Quad Shield is the best cable out there. We aren't currently doing fiber optic, but as the technology moves up or if your specific needs require it, we certainly can do that. This is another one of our antique mantles. One of the beauties of these is that everyone is unique and different. There are some structural and visible damage on some of the mantles, but at 120 years old, it really helps to show its age and its beauty. This is once again a double-sided fireplace. We've got the tile in the front. Often people will do tile or granite in the front, and then we'll move over to the master bathroom. This is the master shower. It has some nice features. 4 body sprayers, 2 shower heads on one side, 1 sunflower shower head on the other side. They're both temperature controlled, so when you dial the temperature, every time you turn on that valve, it always stays at the exact same temperature, and will monitor that temperature as you're taking your shower. Also has a handheld over on the side, makes it very easy to clean the shower. It reaches all the way across the other side, so when you're cleaning the shower or the floors, it's all set up. There's gonna be a 1/2-inch plate, frameless door going in here next week. The soaking tub, usually we'll put in a jet tub, a corner tub that's a jet tub, but this customer preferred to do just a 6-foot soaking tub. It's got a nice handheld in here. This tile, we put it on the outside. We typically tile up or on the top, around the side like this. They opted to want to have a very clean, basic look to it. So once again, we can customize it to whatever you prefer. In the garage, we choose to make a really deep garage with large doors. Most builders use about a 7 or a 7/6 door. This is a 9-foot wide door, 8 feet high. Most of the problem you run into on these garage doors with people is when they come in with their SUV, they got a ski rack on top, they can't get in. Obviously, tons and tons of room on this. These are Clopay insulated doors. They're the best out there. They've got a great R factor. We use the LiftMaster 3/4 horsepower garage door openers. Obviously very quiet, all belt drive. So with living space upstairs, somebody leaves early in the morning, you're not gonna hear anything. Once again, this fiberglass, this floor is reinforced with fiberglass and wire mesh, so you're never gonna have a problem with it. We do the saw cuts in here because any slab will crack after a while. This controls the cracking. We try to put a really nice landing over here by the door if space allows it. Typically on our houses, we'll do an interior staircase in the garage so that when you come in, you can unload, go right down to the basement. And as your kids get older, if you have kids, it makes it easy to go in and out of there to that finished basement and not have to troop everything through the house. This particular lot allowed for a walkout, so we did it. This is the walkout coming out the back. Then we built this retaining wall all the way down the side and then another retaining wall on the top. The driveway's up above us. Tons of room for the turnaround. This turnaround actually is a 30 by 40 area up in front of the garage doors. One of the things we take great pride in is when I build a subdivision, I'll go in, buy the piece of land, put the road in, and then I personally go out and mark all of the house lots. What we look for is lots of privacy between each of the houses, and we do offer varying depths of driveway length. Some people want the house close to the road, 100-foot driveway. This particular house is a 300-foot driveway, but we had a lot of trees growing all the way up down around here. It was a much closer area. They opted to have a really big yard for their kids. So we actually took down about 200 trees all the way around the outside of the yard to give them a nice big yard. Their plan is to put a pool in back here. And obviously there's plenty of room for all that.
With a population of just over 10,000 residents, Amherst, New Hampshire is conveniently located near Manchester and Nashua, New Hampshire, and just over an hour from the beach, the mountains, and the lakes region. The quintessential New England village, Amherst is one of only 2 towns in the entire country listed in its entirety as an historic district. The village green and nearby colonial-era homes and magnificent town center exemplifies the late 18th and early 19th century architecture and charm. With numerous recreational opportunities, golf courses, hiking trails, and lakes, Amherst is an elegant yet comfortable community in which to live.